We have a new transformation in the company in the form of Citizen Kane.
You stole my joke.
Why?
I was
What were
going
you
to
gonna
say Citizen Kane.
Just get it out there. Oh, come on. Everybody's
Really?
saying it.
Oh, I've heard corporate Kane. But they've spelled it with a K, and it feels really weird looking at that.
Because they're cool.
I
Yes.
prefer Republicane.
Republicane, that's a good one. What if you did cool?
It's probably the most original one.
What if you did cool corporate Kane, but spelled cool with a K? And I'm gonna leave that one there.
Nah, I think we should just sort of talk about Kane and
Kane
sorta
has hair,
him wearing a suit.
and
Though
it's
not
weird.
the first time.
Kane has blonde hair, and it freaks me out. It really freaks me out. A lot.
Well, does it really?
Yes.
I mean, have you seen all the politics stuff that Kane has done as Glenn Jacobs? Have you seen pictures or interviews or any of that stuff?
No, I've never seen any of that. All I know of Kane is the big red monster. So seeing that for the first time is a bit of a shock, really.
At least to me, it wasn't that much of a shock because if you saw the elections, the previous ones and all that, and throughout the years, he's actually been actively involved in politics with Ron Paul, with a lot of stuff, and this is what he pretty much looked like in any appearance he did. So that's why I immediately got that JBL vibe, simply because I saw, instead of a redneck going into a millionaire, I saw this freak, this monster going to completely selling out, basically, and going into himself. You know, the same way JBL is John Bradshaw Layfield, we essentially have Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah, that was my first. The second I saw him, I was like, oh, what does he have, like the politician gimmick now? But it looks like he's going to be a part of the Authority. I mean, it was interesting how he came down. He just stood by Triple H and Stephanie, and he didn't do anything. So it was like, it almost kind of was more effective that way, the way that they did that. But I agree. I think they're going to try and go down that road where Kane's actually going to be more like his real self, which is actually, an intelligent man that is into politics. I mean, I don't know how far they'll go with that on the actual show, but maybe more mild-mannered while still, like, maybe in the ring that's, still effective in the ring, but outside the ring being more like his real self, but, to a wrestling gimmick. It's really intriguing because I don't think anyone predicted this route, but I'm pretty interested to see where it goes.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason, like the backstage reason they took the mask off was to help promote See No Evil 2, right?
Apparently.
So how does this corporate Kane fit into a movie murderer?
Best for business.
I guess. Speaking of best for business, have we actually ever talked about the name The Authority?
We might have touched on it a little bit, but back to your other point before you go on that. If the movie comes out, because they just finished filming it, the movie's not going to be out for a while, but they want to get Kane's face back out there, so when the movie comes out, people are like, oh, that's Kane, instead of him being in the mask the whole time, and someone might not even know that's what he looks like. So it's sort of smart marketing from that angle.
The primary reason that I'm interested in this whole Kane thing is because it opens up an entire world that we've never been exposed to either Kane or Glenn Jacobs. Undertaker had his badass character where we got to hear Undertaker as a human being. But we never got that with Kane, because even when he was with the mask and he was with all that, even when he did the whole Canaanites thing with Hulk Hogan and The Rock backstage, those were skits. But it was still the mask-wearing monster. And when he was unmasked, he was still that monster. But now it's a completely different thing. So I'm curious about how far back they're going to go. Because this sort of goes into what you were talking about, Keith. Like regarding See No Evil and all that. Picture this. Now you have someone else that can go into interviews. Say Jimmy Kimmel, any of these shows, right? These guys know that Kane has a history. And he can openly talk in this business matter like, oh, well, yeah, my character's evolved throughout the years, blah, blah, blah. Like, now, this character permits him to do that. You wouldn't see Undertaker now just going into an interview being completely off character. You would see him in a commercial apparently selling motorcycles, but that's another story. Did you guys see those, by the way?
No,
I did.
I only saw Hulk Hogan on a wrecking ball, and I'm done after that.
No, mental picture. It remind me to link you to something after the podcast. But do you guys see where I'm going? This opens up an entire world that we never been exposed to with Kane.
And it is interesting that it took this long, considering how long he has been around. But I'm all for it because how much left was there to do with the Kane gimmick? It's been around forever. It's ran its course. This kind of gives him something new to do, new to take on. It's a new challenge for him. Like, his last run as Kane was really good, where he kind of embraced the comedic side of things. So this is good to just do something completely new in sort of the twilight of his career, and it's a good way to go out.
Sort of a final question regarding this. When Bradshaw became GBL, new theme, new name, whole new makeover. So we've seen the physical change in Kane. Are we going to see Glenn Jacobs, and are we actually going to see Kane not have a demonic theme? Although, I'll be honest, I think he looks more badass coming out in a suit to that theme and
Yeah, it's something
entrance
special.
that he did with the monster outfit.
But just imagine Kane coming out in a JBL-like limo. Like, how much better would that be?
They got to do a theme change. I think that's definitely coming, and I hope we see a character change as well. I think that's what we're going to get, though. We're definitely going to see, I don't know if it's going to be full-on politician, but his demeanor and things are definitely going to change. So yeah, it would be just a little weird if they keep going with the original Kane theme or his latest one. I think they just initially did that so that the fans actually knew who was coming out, but you eventually have to change that.
But it's great to see that we're definitely seeing this guy, kind of like Goldust, where they've been here throughout years, but they're sort of reinventing themselves.